James Green, Short Series Shenanigans. Alright, this is going to be the second to the last part for the Grizzly G0776 tailstock rebuild extravaganza, rat's nest, spaghetti bowl, can of worms, etc. Man, this has been, I've learned a lot, and I hope you have too. I wanted to show as much on camera as I could in case you guys are new to the channel, because I want to get some content out there. In case this is the first video you're watching of mine, I do 30-minute increments. Some of the stuff I don't show on video because it's repetitive, but this I wanted to show just because it's a unique setup, and I don't know if I've showed it before. Not so much the fact that it's boring an item, I've showed that before. It's talking about things that I do that maybe might be helpful to you. That's why I do these videos. If you've seen one video of someone running a boring head through something, you've probably pretty much seen them all. There's little nuances. That's what I want to show you. The setup, why I'm doing what I'm doing, so there you go. So let me move you guys over here, and I'm going to discuss why I'm doing what I'm doing. So we have, and I don't want to pull it out, the part which is the eccentric that this sets on, okay, and ends up sliding over that ultimately locks the tailstock down. So you notice this is what I've got set up here. Instead of having to use parallels, because you have one side that's thin, and I don't want to get this loose or anything because I've already got locked in. I have this under here because if you use a metal parallel, you might be worried about, and see I have it in there, it's something you can come through, it's sacrificial. So you're not boring the bottom of your vise out. A V-block, even though this has a little V here, do not try to work on something cylindrical and only contact 2 points. Now there's a small V over here that's in the vise, as well as there is vertical, or horizontal, I'm sorry. That's what a V-block is for. Throw that sucker in there. So I've got, and if you wanted to, you could put 2 V-blocks in there. There's not enough room for that, but I'm going to use a little V there, and then this one here. We're set up, we're locked in, and we're just going to bore it out to size. Just like anything you get ready to bore, let's figure out the dimensions. So the shaft that we need to bore this out to is this size here. Let's pull it up here and see what we got. 728 thou. Okay. Let's see what size this is here. Come in here with our small snap gauge. Let's see where we're at. We don't got too much. Oh, I think I lost it. Yeah, it came loose. Dadgummit. Okay, let's try that again. Lock it down. Alright, make sure we're snug. Alright, there we go. And so we're 728, and we have to bore, and this bore is 711 thou. So we don't have a whole lot. So 711 to 728. Just call it, you know, well, let's see if we split that. Let's see where we're at. Let's see, we're starting off at, I think this is, I'm not sure if this is touching or not. So let's see, because how I make sure I don't get my brain mixed up with all this stuff. So pull out the calculator. 728 minus 711, 17 thou. So we're going to go, once we contact, a total of 9 thou. I have to write that down. That way I don't mess it up. Everyone has their own method of the madness. So let's come in here and find out where we're touching. We'll start up. Zoom you in, guys, a little bit and see. And you'll see what I'm talking about as far as having a sacrificial piece in there. And table is not locked down yet. It is now. Let's see where we're at. That's why you have it, you know, your bottom. You don't have to worry about messing anything up because it's soft plastic, and that's what I like doing. So if I come down here, you can eyeball this. Let's loosen this up. I went through all the business of sweeping it in, nothing new there. Just touching the walls right there, I believe. Yep. So let's go that. Lock it down. Because I don't even know how round that is. When I was setting it up and sweeping it, of course, it's been used. I believe that's egged a little bit, so it may not be a true bore. Sweep down. Yeah, it's egged out. And 3 at the bottom. Yeah, it's egged out right there at the... it's egged out right at where this... because that's where all the stress and strain has been. So let's add another. That's how this goes. Let's go 5. That's probably going to get us pretty close, and then we'll slide this up, and you know, there's a couple ways to do this. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. I'm just showing you my way, which is always different, I'm sure. And let's get a little lubrication in there. Alright. What I need to do first is we need to get a boring set up. That's engaged. Let me go over on this side and see where we are at. So this is what I'm doing on the Bridgeport. Okay, in case you guys are interested, want to know. On this side over here, we're disengaging the down feed. Okay, so light's right in the way. Okay, so we went from here. Motor or everything has to be off. We're going from here, swinging it over. That's going to engage this, and then you go over to this side over here. I'm going to see where we're set up. 3 thousandths. So you have 3 thousandths per rev, 1.5 and 6. I'm going to leave it at 3. All right. I'll leave you guys back there so you can see what I'm doing here. And we just engage it and we let it feed down. You can hear it hitting at the top. Let's see at the bottom. And we know once I get to about 3, we're going to be done. All we got to do is reach over and just slap that. That's why you have something consumable at the bottom. Alright, I turn that off so that way everyone can hear. So that's basically the gist of, I'm going to bore it out. Take us a little measurement. Sorry about that. Alright, let's come back over here. The snap gauge. Take a measurement. I don't like the way that one felt. Let's try it again. Okay. We gotta be 728 and we are right at still 711. And I can see where it's cutting up here at the top and a little bit on one side, so that tells me that that bore is not cylindrical. No problem. This is how you sneak up on it. Okay, loosen that. That's why they call it boring, because it can be boring. Attention to detail. So we're at 15, let's go to 10. But once you get a method to how you like to do things, whatever works easy for you, go for it. Alright, so we're out, we're up. Engage the head and let it go. Now I can tell that's cutting all the way around now. Plus it's actually making the oil smoke. And I know once I get to right about 3 here, I reach over and pop it. And I can tell it's missing some areas in the bottom. Air. That is why. Oh yeah. What? Let's see where we're at. We are at 719. Okay. Going at it again. And we're going to go at 730 because it doesn't have to be. This, all it does is have to slide over the shaft to create that cam lock. It doesn't have to be a super, and I don't want it super tight. Sometimes people get carried away with how tight can we get it to fit. You get junk and oil and grease and grime in there, and if I need to take this apart again, now obviously we don't want it the other way either, but so let's go take it to 5. Because I can still tell there's an area down in the bottom on that one side that it's not cutting it straight for whatever reason. Whether it wasn't straight in the bore or outside or who knows. For what this is going to do, it'll work just fine. Alright. And next, cutting because it's making the oil smoke. And we're watching here. Once we get down to 3, we know we're getting close. I can hear it kind of cut and skip down there in the bottom a little bit. There we go. Just like that. Come around here again. That. Another measurement. Okay. Let's see where we're at. We are, whoa, there we go. 727. So we want to go 730, and we don't have far to go. So I'm going to go ahead and advance this because I just want a little clearance. Go straight over to 0, and that'll get us where we need to. That should be the final pass. Now we're not concerned about bore finish or, you know, this is literally so it'll clear and slide on the shaft. So we just come in here, give ourselves a little oil, and away we go. I find that 3,000 per rev is actually a pretty good boring rate for most general purpose. If you want a super fine finish, you cut it in half and go down to 1.5. It does great. But for the vast majority of boring applications, I've found 3 works great. Out. Alright, now we know, now we can't, you gotta think about it, you can't pull this out because this isn't cylindrical to the outside. The bore is not cylindrical. The OD, the ID don't match in the same roundness, if that makes sense. They're not concentric. Another measure. Oh yeah, we're like, yeah, we're 740. So that should be plenty. Oh yeah. So that should be plenty to slip over the shaft. So what I'm going to actually do, so in case you want to put that back, let me show you a trick that I've done before. You get your little marker that's hiding over here, pardon me. So let's say we wanted to put this back and we want to cheat, because I'm all about cheating in a good way. Denatured alcohol is your friend so that you don't lose your mark from the oil. Okay, you got your denature. You don't want to move anything, but if we have to throw it back in there to bore it, let me show you how to cheat. Okay, so nothing can move. You come in here with a Sharpie there, so we know we're there, and then if you make a line, boom, look at that. Is that pretty fam-dancy or what? So now we've created marks, okay, because all we're going to do at this point, we're going to slide this up on out of here, loose, slide it out, and we're going to slide it over the shaft to make sure we're going to fit. Boom, look at that. Oh man, let's see if it'll go this way. Remember that in the other video I talked about, I don't think those things will line up. They might. Try not to knock my mark off over here, or did I already do it? Nope. I had some swarf on the bottom. So they were pretty close. I think maybe if I come in from the bottom, I bet they'll line up. Yep. Oh, remember that other video I said I probably should have, man. So you remember in the other video where I said I should have I should have waited and bored these through, look, so that you guys can see that I'm not lying. Whoop. Look at that. And I thought, man, maybe I should have bored those through. So I got lucky, I think. But this was centered with that on that. I got lucky, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. And then we could drive the pin through when we go to put this together. But yeah, the drive pin will go right through there, no problem. You know, so there we go. Bang. I like that. But there's a little trick. So if we need to go back in, let's say it wasn't right, we got our little witness mark that I made right there, and we can slap that sucker right back down in there. So we know we're good to go. That's one of those, wait, if I have to put it back, clean it up, mark it, all that good stuff. So the takeaway from this was I wanted to show you guys the setup. Little pieces of, you know, those cheap doll, and I've got some over here, dollar cutting boards, whatever. I use them after the wife gets done with them, the little plastic, the white plastic ones. I use them for mixing up epoxy, because when you get done, you just, and then, or if you wanted just some real cheap, inexpensive, because if you go to buy, you know, plastic, I'll just say that as a general term, from a plastic steeler, it can get pricey depending on a special for this, that, the other. Go down to the dollar store, and I've got some over there, different things. Just buy some. I mean, go to Dollar Tree, dollar store here in the United States. That's kind of like a little discount store we have. But wherever you got them, and just cut a little piece of that and slide them up and deburr them, slice, so you can use, instead of using a metal, you have a consumable, will not hurt your boring bar and will not hurt the bottom of your vise. Kind of deck, you know, the little metal parrot, even a little thin. I've got some over there, the real spring steel thin. I'm still worried about it getting through there, tearing something up. This is a real cheap, inexpensive, you know, that's what I use things like that for. So there you go, showing you just a different way I do this setup. The boring head, if you guys are curious, I got this several years ago at Little Machine Shop. Now I don't know if it's the same number or not that's still there, but that you can go there. It's Little Machine Shop. That's the one. It's the R8 boring head, and I'll show you the insides. There you go. Pretty simple, cut and dry. I have used this a lot. It has paid for itself more times than you can count. You don't have to have a Criterion or Citrion or however you say it. I've bored out cylinder heads on jugs with this. You can put even a bar in from the side depending on the width of your bar. And I mean, I've bored out jugs for motorcycles, for small engines. You don't have to have the $500 name brand. It works. If you're the home hobbyist and you want to do some stuff, I've got some videos coming up this spring. I don't want to spoil it, but it's going to involve work on the FE motor that's sitting over here behind me. That is kind of a stand right now because I've got a lot of things going on. So there you go. Hopefully this has been helpful to you guys and gals. Now what I will do, I was going to say one thing you can do, if you're worried about, and we were talking about this and I didn't talk about it in the other video, you know, we drilled a blind hole. Now if you wanted to, because it's at that angle, if you wanted to go all the way through, you could. It really wouldn't hurt. So you'll start out with a taper, a plug, and then a bottom if you're worried about it. I don't know if this size, I think I've got a taper and then a bottom, or a plug and a bottom, but it's metric 8mm 125. and then we know that lined up. So that's going to work great. That's going to hold all this once it's in place. We got a little lathe work left to do. Probably what I'm going to do is the final video for this will be after it's all done, complete, put together on the lathe. And this week, because this is what, January the 21st as I'm shooting this video, it'll be after this. I want to wait till I get everything here, get my oilers in, get everything set up. So that'll be the final. We're putting it on, we're going to put it to use, we're going to line it up, and so that'll be the final, whatever, video 7 or 8 I think is what it'll be. So there you go. Hopefully this has been helpful. The original shaft is so yeah, the original one, the new and improved, longer, that'll go all the way through the tailstock. And then obviously once we get this tapped in here like it's supposed to be, when we get in there, we'll get it all set up. Boom. So that should be with it. I think that's what we need. Yeah, we'll get it. Anyway, so there you go. If you guys have any questions, please contact me. eagledustoff37@gmail.com. So there we go. Again, a shout out, one of my fellow YouTube contributors, Shop Life A-Bomb. You guys have probably been seeing the A-Bomb torque. My buddy Adam Booth, I noticed he just released his 200th Saturday night special episode. If you guys have not ran across Adam Booth on YouTube, you are living in a hole. Shout out to you, props Adam. Awesome to see you're fixing to push 160,000 viewers. That's awesome. It's great to see how the YouTube community has grown as far as with machinists over the last, I'm going to say, 4 years. It's the world's largest collective of free knowledge out there. Something like that. Brad Jacob, he's the one that came up with the whole idea. Phenomenal group of people. I know every year we have a summer bash. I don't know if Stan has done the intro about it yet, but it's coming up soon. So there we go. Let's see how much time we got left. Yeah, we got a little bit. So again, thank you, Keith Finner, Keith Rucker. You guys gave me a shout out. Oh, there was another YouTube. I can't even think of it. Anyway, my buddy Gordon out there, you guys, it's just phenomenal. So again, huge thank you. What I will do, another shout out here, Ray Canelia, watching your video about your ER32 collets and stuff got me thinking. I want to put mine in here in the Bridgeport and see how well it does. So that may be a video I do in between the others. Get out my gauge pins, put some stuff in, and mine's an Interstate brand. I got it from MSC. So let's see how well and accurate. Now, old Bridget over here, 67 series, 1J head, you know, she's got curves and she's a little loose in the hips, but by God, she gets the job done. Take care of yourself and take care of your family, because remember, at the end of the day, your family's all you got. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.